Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, we at Your Morning have been featuring some Canadian small businesses from coast to coast. And today we are welcoming Itah Sadu. Itah is the co-owner of A Different Book List, an independent multicultural bookstore here in Toronto. And she joins us this morning. Itah, I've watched a couple of interviews with you online. I'm very excited to talk to you today. Let's talk about A Different Book List. It's in its 25th year. The journey began for you over 20 years ago when you got a call late at night asking, do you want to own a bookstore? Tell us a little bit more about that moment and how you became co-owner of A Different Book List and how you would describe your store for us.
Thank you. And thank you. Good morning to you too, Ben, and love your energy too that you present on the television. But could you imagine that you're in your home and it's about 11 o'clock and someone calls and says do you want to buy a bookstore? Like, I've got this wonderful bookstore and, I want to go on to some other things in my life. And I've been thinking about you and your husband, and will you buy the bookstore? And in a moment you think, this is story. I mean, this is something that would be written in a book, the intrigue of it, like somebody phoning you up to say, hey, do you want to do this? And you kind of then have another thought like, this is kind of mad, right? But suddenly the first thing we did was, I think I called my best friend and we started to call friends, and people said, we see you in this. Why do you see us in this? Because you know so many people and because you're mad people, right? Because one of the things, Ben, that is beautiful about the world of books as you know it, every single person I am sure you have met in life has said a couple of things to you. I want to write a book, and when I retire, I want to own a bookstore. And you need to tell them, Ben, you got to lift a lot of heavy books, right? So it might not be the thing that you're going to be doing in the retirement. So here we were presented with this wonderful gift, and not only a bookstore, but a bookstore to be located at Bathurst and Bloor, this historic street too for our people of African descent. So this was very, very excited. And I must confess, when the first day that we opened up the store, and now I was like a real bookseller. And then I had a panic moment, like, I don't want the phone to ring. Suppose I don't know. Now, how crazy would that be? Because people would be calling a place of knowledge. And then the phone rang on the very first day. And this woman said, do you have the book, Why Black People Tend to Shout? And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's one of my friends. They're playing me, right? Like, what book is called Why Black People Tend to Shout? There is a book called Why Black People Tend to Shout. And there were a group of elderly Black women who belonged to a church group, and they were in their 70s and they were reading this book. From the moment we opened, we took over A Different Book List 23 years ago. And yes, we are excited in 2020 that we are celebrating our 25 years of the store's existence. Another thing I must say that is so wonderful about books, when the Mirvish block, the iconic Mirvish block, was in transition and the block closed, A Different Book List was the last business to leave the block. And on a good day, Ben, I would have in my heart think that knowledge was the last to leave the development. And for the longest time,
I love that.
Yeah, it's such the coolest thing. Well, here's the thing coming at you, Ben. For the longest time, we did not have one stick of graffiti. And I love graffiti because it's an art form. And Brazilians, I know you got game with this. But here is the thing. You would look for days on the bookstore, and the entire block of the Mirvish Village would have some sort of tagging on it. But one of the things that the graphic artists celebrated was the power of books. So even before pandemics, even before COVID, in our 25 years, I am proud to say that graffiti artists in the city of Toronto gave such respect to the bookstore, they didn't tag it.
I could just sit back. I have been sitting back and just listening. I got one last question for you because we don't have a lot of time left. But I got to ask really, really quickly, how have the last 6 months been for you? Have you viewed it as a challenge or an opportunity?
We view it as an opportunity, and where this and that is part of who we are. But also, too, I want to say a different book list. We are very, very happy, and we want to thank all our customers and patrons, because when COVID hit, immediately you picked up the phone and you said, how can we help? And Canadians, you were intentional in supporting independent bookstores. Canadian, you were intentional in supporting Black bookstores. You sent your children to work. To the young people out there, when people say you don't read, that has not been our experience. So we thank all of you who came each and every day to volunteer to help us bring the love of literature and reading and great books into the hands of Canadians.
Itah, this has been just such a treat to
Right?
talk to you and to hear your story. Yeah.
Ben, on the highway of my steers coming to talk to you this morning, it occurred to me the most powerful thing about books is this, and I hope you're sitting down. Yes, you're sitting down in your beautiful home.
Yes, I am.
It's one of the few places that Black and white come together. We can have conflict, but you know, Ben, it's going to be resolved. And if it isn't in the book, it leaves the reader the opportunity to be involved in the plot of thinking and renewal. This is so beautiful.
Itah, I wish you nothing but the best. Here's hoping we meet again very, very soon, because I need more of you in my life. Thank you so much for joining us. All the best to you.
Thanks to you. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.